We had a wild report just drop regarding DAngelo Russell once again getting linked to the Toronto Raptors for one specific reason. One reason as to why the Toronto Raptors are interested in picking him up, so we'll discuss that, including Darko Rajakovic giving some very interesting comments regarding newest Toronto Raptors signing Bruno Fernando and his future with the team, and his role is more elevated than I think a lot of Raptors fans expected it to be after this signing initially happened. So lots of stuff to really dive into in this video. But before we do, folks, again, with the season starting to ramp up, the news entering the next year, starting to escalate with the Olympics, at least Team Canada getting knocked out of the team, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single thing regarding all of the latest Toronto Raptors news. But let's dive into it. Because, again, DAngelo Russell is a guy that's been linked to the Toronto Raptors for a very long time. There's been a lot of minor reports linking the team to D'Lo over the past couple of seasons, and the LA Lakers have been a squad that have dangled DAngelo Russell in trade rumors for a very long time. And now we have another sort of addition to the saga of a potential hunt for DAngelo Russell coming to the Toronto Raptors, as they've been once again linked by a Lakers beat reporter, Anthony Irwin of Lakers Daily. Essentially, finally, the last factor that has affected each set of negotiations the Lakers have had is DAngelo Russell's reputation around the league. Portland has had no interest in Russell. Now, this is regarding a Lakers report, as Portland has been, the Lakers are interested in Jeremy Grant, but Portland's not interested in DAngelo Russell. That's the context of the article. But essentially, in Russell, according to league sources close to that situation. League sources also say Washington is wary of pairing DAngelo Russell with fellow space cadet Jordan Poole. Toronto and Brooklyn are more open to acquiring the 9-year veteran, but more so for his expiring contract than for what he'd be able to do out there on the court. So this article ends up going on to say, once again, linking Bruce Brown to the LA Lakers as a potential trade that would go on. But Bruce Brown's also an expiring contract. D'Lo's an expiring contract. So essentially, one for one swap there. Unless the Lakers are completely done with DAngelo Russell, I feel like that doesn't make a ton of sense in terms of fit and things that are going on now at this point. But the Raptors have been linked, as a potential team that's interested in picking up DAngelo Russell's expiring contract. Now, D'Lo, the player, I think gets trashed on a little bit too much. 18 points per game, 6 assists. Yes, he struggled in the playoffs a little bit, but that dude was an absolute monster for the Lakers for the large stretch of last season. Had some big games, led to a lot of wins out there for LA. I don't want to say playoff collapses, because last year was certainly a playoff collapse, but this most recent season certainly wasn't. But he's an elite three-point shooter, shooting 42% on a significant volume, right? Over 50% of his shots are from behind the three-point line. He's only 28 years old, so he's not old, and he's on a very reasonable contract. So the fact that no teams have been willing to take a flyer on D'Lo to come in is pretty surprising to me. But the Raptors being interested as a team that would take on DAngelo Russell's salary to maybe flip him in the future is pretty intriguing, because, again, the Raptors are more sort of assets. We'd have a lot of expiring money, gives us more flexibility for the future, and Masai Ujiri's been open about how he wants flexibility for this team. So maybe giving away a Chris Boucher, giving away some different sort of longer-term money players, dare I say a Jakob Poeltl in a trade, to bring back a DAngelo Russell to more so facilitate future moves, to more so open up flexibility for the Toronto Raptors, is something I would not be surprised Masai Ujiri actually doing this season if it goes off to a horrific start. I think the Toronto Raptors are starting next year with Jakob Poeltl as their big man, because, again, this team was a lot better with Jakob Poeltl in the lineup when the start half of the year and the second half of the year. But obviously, when Jakob Poeltl's down, we're a very thin team on the front line. We'll see if that gets changed now with Christian Koloko. I don't think Olajuwon is going to be a guy that's playing at any stretch now. Kelly Olynyk's a 4 or 5 kind of combo guy rather than just a 5. So essentially, DAngelo Russell coming in. The Raptors are, very lower tier mid, and they want to really bottom out. I wouldn't be shocked if throwing Jakob Poeltl in a trade, picking up DAngelo Russell's contract, maybe a 3-team deal with the Lakers and another star going back to LA. I don't think the Toronto Raptors, that's outside the expectation. Do I think that's happening now? Do I think that's happening soon? No, I think the Raptors are going to go forward with this group. Immanuel Quickley, Scottie Barnes just got a huge pile of money. RJ Barrett's on a significant contract. We're not super sure what's going to be happening at the 4 spot right now for this team. Jakob Poeltl's the current 5 for this roster. Maybe Gradey Dick will be a starter. Maybe Bruce Brown will be a starter. I don't think Jakob Poeltl is going to be a deep rotation guy just this early in his career. But we also have Davion Mitchell off the bench for this team at the point guard spot. So bringing in D'Lo at some point might be interesting. I guess if the Davion Mitchell experiment experiment doesn't work out. But in terms of flexibility, if come December, this thing isn't really working out for this Toronto Raptors team, maybe trading Jakob Poeltl and getting D'Lo and a pick or something along those lines might be a move Masai Ujiri is actually interested in, have flexibility for next year's offseason or the trade deadline. But that's only if the Toronto Raptors are not things aren't going as to plan for this team. So definitely keep an eye on the Toronto Raptors once again being linked to the squad. I don't think this trade is imminent, likely to happen really anytime soon. But Masai Ujiri likes these sort of expiring assets to be able to move forward and play with, the same way he did with Bruce Brown in the Pascal Siakam trade. So let me know what you guys think about that one there. But we also have an update regarding Darko Rajakovic making some comments regarding the newest Toronto Raptor in terms of Bruno Fernando, who was a recent pickup for this Toronto Raptors team. And Darko Rajakovic had some extremely high praise for his game and his potential role with this team. Essentially, Bruno Fernando is a guy that averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds per game, really turned it on last season, in the second half of last year for the Atlanta Hawks. Darko Rajakovic had this to say about his game. Essentially, we jumped on him right away. Obviously, we've been following him for years now at this point, and we know a lot about him. Just the opportunity to bring him on our team, we are really excited about that. So that was the comments regarding Bruno Fernando. He went on to say he wants to help the team win in any way that he can. He's able to do multiple things on defense, guard multiple positions, and on offense, he's a great holder. I think he's a little bit underestimated as a passer. We'll see how he's going to fit into our system, but I think he's a really good fit for us. So this part, obviously, a new signing coming in. When asked about it from the coach, it's going to be positive, even if it's a not guaranteed signing, because Bruno Fernando was brought in as a player that is on an unguaranteed contract. So there's no guarantees his contract will be going into next season. So that's one thing to factor in with everything regarding this Bruno Fernando situation. So a lot of people are like, oh, maybe he won't even make the roster. Should we really care and get hyped up about this guy? But the one comment that really intrigued me about Darko Rajakovic's kind of quote there is, I think he's a little bit underestimated as a passer. Now, that's a line that might get overlooked, might get, ignored out there. Oh, power forward, do we really care if he's a good passer or not? That's the reason why Chris Boucher didn't get minutes for this team last year. Chris Boucher is an elite sort of rebounder, and I don't want to say like elite in terms of a role player. He's a great rebounder, he can knock down shots. He's a lot better than a lot of the guys getting minutes for this Toronto Raptors team last season. Why didn't he play? Because he doesn't fit the Darko Rajakovic style of ball. Same reason Trent Jr. kind of regressed a little bit last season, because his style of play doesn't fit the Darko Rajakovic system. Now, you can make that as a criticism on Darko Rajakovic for not being able to adjust his offense for the talented players he has on the team, but we know what Darko Rajakovic likes. I don't even want to say like super high IQ, just good passing basketball players. Players that aren't going to be ball stoppers, that are going to be able to sort of catch the ball in the mid post, catch the ball in the wing, and hit cutters, be able to make a quick swing, all these types of things. And that's why Trent Jr. and Chris Boucher really fell out of the mix. So Bruno Fernando obviously is a hustle guy, a defensive player, all those types of things. Also being a decent passer makes me believe more that Bruno Fernando will be on this team starting into next season. Now, obviously, the Christian Koloko situation, I already made a video on it in our previous video, so definitely check that out. There's going to be some roster competition if Christian Koloko is brought back. He's cleared to play. All of those health stuff end up going on. You want more deep dive in Christian Koloko, check out that video. But basically, Bruno Fernando, being that hustle guy, we see how valuable these types of dudes are out there in the Olympics with Long Temp or whatever his name is, and then obviously Yabusele, just absolutely cooking Team Canada with those stocky sort of fours. Bruno Fernando's a guy that's like that. He's a locker room presence that a lot of people in the Atlanta Hawks spoke very highly of. So definitely a player I would keep my eyes on for the Toronto Raptors moving forward. And if Darko Rajakovic likes his passing, likes his, among other things in his game, don't be surprised if he actually gets some run and makes this team going to next season. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. You guys best to get started. Subscribe to the channel. I'm signing out.